And the hands and arms were very long and muscular. Ah, jeez! Need! And the feet and legs just the same. And its belt, lustrous belt with sheen, was beautiful. It held a fresh branch of holly in its hand, and a singular contraction of that wintry emblem had its dress trimmed with summer flowers.
You spirit whose forecoming was foretold to me.
I am.
Who are you?
I am the ghost of Christmas past.
Long past?
No, your past.
Scrooge expressed himself much obliged, but could not help thinking that a night of unbroken rest would have been more conducive to that end. The spirit must have heard him thinking, for it immediately said,
Your reclamation then. Take heed.
It put out its strong hand as it spoke and clasped him gently by the arm.
Scrooge, be careful, I may break your hand. Rise and walk with me.
It would have been in vain for Scrooge to plead that the weather and the hour were not adapted to pedestrian purpose, that bed was warm and the thermometer a long way below freezing, that he was clad but lightly in his slippers, dressing gown and nightcap, and was not to be resisted. He rose and finding the spirit made towards the window, clasped his robe in subculture.
I am water, liable to fall.
Bear but a touch of my hand here, and you will be upheld in more than that.
As words were spoken, they passed through the wall and stood upon an open country road with fields on either hand. The city had eternally vanished. Not a vestige of it was to be seen. The darkness and the mist had vanished with it, for it was a clear, cold, wintry day, and the snow upon the ground.
I know this place. I was a boy here.
He was conscious of 1,000 odours floating in the air, each one connected with 1,000 thoughts, hopes and joys and cares, long forgotten.
Strange to have forgotten it for so many years.
I remember the way I walk it blindfolded.
They walked along the road, Scrooge recognizing every gate and post and tree, until a little market town appeared in the distance with its bridge, its churchyard and winding river. Some shaggy ponies now were seen trotting towards them with boys on their backs, who called to other boys in country gigs and carts. I thought I'd give this like a big concert. Obviously, no.
These are but shadows of the things that have been. They can't see us.
A door opened, and a little girl, much younger than the boy, ran in and started hugging him and kissing him often.
I've come to take you home, dear brother. Home, little fan? Yes. Father is so much kinder to me than he used to be that one night when he was putting me to sleep, I wasn't afraid to ask him once more if you make him home. And he said yes, home for good and all. But first we must spend all Christmas long together.
Quite well, little fan.
She clapped her hands and laughed and tried to touch his head, but being too little, laughed again and stood on a tiptoe to embrace him. Then she began to drag him in her childish eagerness towards the door, and he nothing loth who accompanied her. Oh, that little girl's so cute!
She was always such a delicate creature, but she had a large heart.
Yes, she did. God forbid.
She died a woman and had, as a thank, children.
Yeah.
True, your nephew.
Right.
They had but that moment left the school behind them. They were no in the city no more. The shadowy passengers passed and repassed, where shadowy carts and coaches battled for the way, and all strife tumult of a real city where it was made plain enough by the dressing of the shops that here too it was Christmas time again, but it was the evening and streets were lighted up. The ghost stopped at a certain warehouse door and asked if he knew it.
Yes, I remember it. I was apprenticed to it.
They went in, a sight of old gentlemen in a Welsh wig sitting behind such a high back before you could have got to 12, panting like racehorses.
Right then, guys. Such a small matter to make his silly folks feel gratitude.
Small?
Why is it not?
No, it's not that. He had the must have cost a small fortune. He had power to make our work light or burden or toil.
But you spend but a few pounds of your mortal money. Is that so much that deserves his gratitude?
I don't know.
His former self turned down the lamps and gave utterance to the wish, and Scrooge and the ghost again stood side by side in the open air. This was not addressed to Scrooge or to anyone whom he could see, but it produced an immediate effect. For again, Scrooge saw himself. He was older now, a man in the prime of life. His face had not the harsh and rigged lines of later years, but it had begun to wear the signs of care that this book must be old because I can't pronounce that word. There was an eager, greedy, restless motion in the eye, which showed the passion that had taken root, and where the shadow of a growing tree would fall. He was not alone. He sat side by side of a fair young girl in a mourning dress, in whose